off the latest addition to their family. The world and hundreds of well-wishers get the first glimpse of the new baby boy. Earlier, a royal wave from Princess Charlotte to hundreds of well-wishers as she and her brother accompanied their father to see the baby.
I'd like to see the baby and see the royal family, and I think it's history in the making, really.
That's just very exciting, and it's nice to be in the base of where the excitement is.
The baby was born at 11 o'clock this morning, weighing 8 pounds and 7 ounces. As yet, the Duke and Duchess haven't confirmed his name. Also tonight, British citizenship for any member of the Windrush generation and their children, a promise from the government. The 29-year-old who appeared on MasterChef who collapsed and died during the London Marathon. A personal finance expert sues Facebook for defamation after it publishes dozens of fake ads using his name.
I don't do ads, so any advert with my name and face in is fake. You should stop running them.
Crowned the best player in the Premier League. Now can Mo Salah lead Liverpool to Champions League glory?
And coming up in the sport later in the hour on BBC News, we look ahead to the first of the Champions League semi-finals as Liverpool prepare to face Roma at Anfield.
And welcome to the BBC News at 6. In the last few minutes, the world has had its first glimpse of the royal baby, the latest addition to the family of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. The baby boy was born this morning at just after 11 o'clock, weighing 8 pounds and 7 ounces. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge stood on the hospital steps. Their children, Princess Charlotte and Prince George, visited earlier. The royal couple were congratulated by hundreds of well-wishers. Daniela Ralph has the latest.
Wrapped up, making his first public appearance. It will be one of many over the years. The newest addition to the royal family. Born just 7 hours earlier at the private Lindo wing of St Mary's Hospital. The Duchess of Cambridge had arrived here in the early stages of labour before 6 o'clock this morning. Her son was born at 11:01. The Duke of Cambridge was present at the birth. Weighing 8 pounds 7 ounces, the new baby prince is the heaviest of the Duke and Duchess's 3 children.
Oh yay, oh yay, oh yay, we've got a new prince here today. Campaign for Queen.
The news it was a boy came a few hours earlier, to the delight of hardened royal watchers, some of whom had been camping outside the hospital for more than a week.
It's wonderful news, isn't it? Fantastic news!
We're actually from the States, and so we just happened to be here for 4 days, and we're getting to catch this, so we're really excited.
Is it great news? It's bringing everyone to make everyone smile.
There was a visit from the new big brother and sister too. A tentative-looking Prince George, a more confident wave from Princess Charlotte, holding tightly onto Dad's hand for a defining moment in family life, meeting the new sibling. The announcement of the royal birth initially came via a tweet and email, but the official birth notice was via more traditional means, tied to an easel displayed on the forecourt of Buckingham Palace. The arrival of a baby boy secures Princess Charlotte her place in history.
It's a very significant day for Princess Charlotte because she is the first royal princess in British history not to be moved down the line of succession when a younger brother was born. Before 2013, when the law was changed to give women and men equal succession rights, essentially if a younger prince was born, she would lose her spot.
The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge now leave hospital for life at Kensington Palace as a family of 5. Other than next month's royal wedding, the Duchess will spend the next few months out of the public eye, focusing on her family. It may be baby number 3 for the Cambridges, but global interest hasn't waned in this new prince who will be 5th in line to the throne. Daniela Ralph, BBC News, St Mary's Hospital in Paddington.
Our royal correspondent Sarah Campbell is outside the hospital in central London now. So Sarah, as well as hordes of press photographers there were so many well-wishers who were waiting to get a glimpse of the family, and at last they did.
Exactly, yes. The email came through early this morning about 8:30 that the Duchess of Cambridge had gone into labour, was in the early stages of labour, and since then the streets around here have absolutely filled up with hundreds of members of the press and hundreds of well-wishers, and it's literally only in the past few minutes that the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge have shown their new baby son to all of those people that were waiting around all day, and of course the media. So these pictures are being beamed around the world as we speak, and it was a huge moment, bearing in mind the baby was only born 1 minute past 11 this morning. I mean, now I can tell you already, people having their picture taken in front of the Lindo wing, the interest in this baby hasn't waned. So we've had Prince George, we've had Princess Charlotte, both of whom made a visit to the hospital, so they had already been introduced to their baby brother. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge have now taken their new son back home to Kensington Palace, so all three of the siblings will be able to get acquainted with each other. This, of course, as we said, is the fifth in line to the British throne, hasn't overtaken Princess Charlotte due to a change in the laws of succession, and of course this is the Queen's sixth grandchild, great-grandchild, born on St George's Day. Back to you.
Sarah Campbell, outside the hospital in central London, thank you. Any member of the Windrush generation and their children will be granted British citizenship if they want it. That's the pledge of the Home Secretary after a week of bad headlines. Amber Rudd also told MPs that anyone who's gone to another country and is stuck because of the government's treatment of Windrush migrants will be able to come back to the UK. And for all involved in applying for citizenship, any fees will be waived. Labour, though, hit back, blaming the Home Secretary personally for the problem, saying she must have known and yet allowed the scandal to happen. Our political editor, Laura Koonsberg, has the latest.
Arrivals at Tilbury. The Empire Windrush brings to Britain 500 Jamaicans.
Those who came here are not numbers, but people with families, with responsibilities and homes. The Home Secretary's words today. But the Windrush generation made those homes here, only to be failed.
Secretary Amber Rudd.
There's no hiding from this mess.
Each individual case is painful to hear, but so much more painful, often harrowing, for the people involved. The state has let these people down.
You did, they cried, she and Theresa May before. Now there's an offer of an easier route to citizenship to fix the mistakes.
So I want to enable the Windrush generation to acquire the status that they deserve, British citizenship, quickly, at no cost, and with proactive assistance through the process. None of this can undo the pain already endured. But I hope it demonstrates the government's commitment to put these wrongs right going forward.
Nick Broderick came to Britain from Jamaica as a toddler, but says he was threatened with deportation and lost his job. He's £30,000 out of pocket. So does today's promise make up for the distress and what's happened to him?
It's positive, isn't it? It's going to help a lot of people. I don't know whether we're going to get any money back or anything like that. I'm just glad to become a citizen and I can, work again, get my life back on track. That's what I'm hoping for.
Labour says it should never have been allowed to happen.
This was a generation with unparalleled commitment to this country, unparalleled pride in being British, unparalleled commitment to hard work and contributing to society. And it is shameful that this government has treated this generation in this way.
For the offer of citizenship without fees or a test really right the wrongs.
I and others are in this country because my parents were born under the British Empire. When she says that people can apply for citizenship if they want it, does she understand that that citizenship was theirs all along?
It's not just this Home Secretary who's been under pressure over this saga.
Was it Theresa May? Good morning.
But remember, her boss, the Prime Minister, was in charge when the rules changed. Just weeks ago, ministers were playing this down. Now they can't move fast enough to try to move on.
Well, let's talk to Laura at Westminster. So can they move on, Laura? This is a question. Have they done enough to draw a line under this?
Well, this has been a real mess, Fiona. It's been a very damaging episode for the government, not just because of the political closeness that it has to the Prime Minister, given that she was in charge at the Home Office for 6 years. And it's not just going to be easy to sweep this away because it's a big administrative job. There are a lot of details still to be worked through, so in that sense it is going to be difficult for the government to be able to move on and for them to be able to forget about it. It's also going to be hard because MPs are already warning that there are other groups who have been caught up in the tightening of the immigration rules who have also been suffering unfairly as the Home Office has been working through their cases. So I don't expect this to be the last time that we hear MPs raising concerns of members of the public around the country who feel they've been caught up unfairly when they have the right very much to be here. But you know, ministers also have to carry out something that is difficult to balance. They believe, and public opinion suggests, that people want a fair and tight immigration system. But what people clearly do not want is something that is perceived to be cruel. And getting that balance right in the years to come is no easy task.
Laura at Westminster, thank you. The Prime Minister has restated her pledge that the UK will leave the EU customs union after Brexit. The government's coming under pressure after a defeat on the issue in the House of Lords last week, and it's facing a symbolic vote in the House of Commons this week. Remaining in the customs union